You mentioned another legendary figure in graph, KUB. How did you meet him? Do you remember?
I don't. There was a mutual friend involved. I don't remember who the mutual friend was, but he was hitting hard on the Valley. Him and Christ were hitting in our neighborhood, even like near Universal Studios. A couple of guys from KOG lived in that neighborhood, and we kept seeing them, and they kept seeing us, and we were just kind of in each other's orbits for a long time before. I don't remember. There was a mutual friend that brought us together, but they're like, yo, man, you know this guy KUB? He keeps asking about you guys. It's like, yo, that guy's fucking dope as fuck. Bring him around. First time he came around, we clicked really hard. I think probably by the second time we hung out, it was like, all right, you're getting in the crew, dude. You're fam, you know? And I really miss the guy.
What kind of person was he? Can you describe his personality?
He was humble. He was quiet. He was... you know, people jokingly sometimes called him like a white cholo because, you know, he had the high socks and the lokes. But he was multi-talented. You know, he could paint canvases, he rapped, he was a multifaceted person, but he was always super humble and he was always a gentleman. He was one of those few people that had impeccable words. He never talked, you'd never hear him talk shit. You never hear him say anything negative. He was always classy with everything he said. You know, and when he'd say, like, when he interject his opinion at a meeting, it was definitely, he was vibrating on the high road, you know, like a pure gentleman.
Definitely a legendary figure gone too soon. At a certain point, your name is recognizable to the majority of Los Angeles. LTS and KOG are the kings of the streets. When did you feel in your heart you had arrived as one of the masters and innovators in graffiti?
So I always feel like a constant learner and a constant student, and I never feel like I fully want to feel like I've arrived. But definitely one of the things that helped me realize that I was just a permanent part of the landscape was around 2012 when the Getty came a knocking and they were putting together that graffiti book, and apparently they were specifically looking for people for my crew. And Vile put me together with some of those people, and they're like, dude, we need you, we need this guy, we need that guy. Like, you guys are an important part of the story. And it's weird because, like, the people putting together the book were definitely not from the culture, yet they had such a deep love and appreciation that they knew a lot of the names. So like, oh, we need this guy. Everyone told us we need that guy. So when I heard that so many people had mentioned my name, and it was people that I looked up to, people from older generations that kept saying, oh yeah, get this guy involved, get this guy involved. I was like, okay, all right, if my elders are trying to get me involved and they're finally bringing up my name, then I guess I'm probably important enough to like, okay, I've made my mark. You know, I'm credible enough to say, all right, people want to fuck with me now. Where I feel, you know, I don't want to be like play the victim, but I feel for like a lot of years, my crew didn't get a lot of love. We were kind of the underdogs when we first started coming up. A lot of the older, more established crews kind of hated us. They didn't like what we were doing. They didn't like we used rollers. They didn't like the kind of spots we were painting. They didn't like that our letters were outside of the contemporary norm. You know, we were using elements that other people weren't doing, and we've got a lot of resistance for it. But again, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, you can't beat it, join them. We kept doing our thing so much that people reluctantly were like, fuck it. We got to accept you guys. You guys do your thing, you know?